This is Sarah from Posh Pooch Designs, and today's video is one in a series of 3 videos. This first one, I'm going to be featuring my Happy Hearts headband. The second video in this series, I'm going to be featuring the Happy Hearts headband turned into a slouchy hat. Then, in the third video of this series, I'm going to show you how to take that same Happy Hearts headband and make it into this lovely cow. For today's demonstration, I'm going to be using these 3 colors. They're Red Heart Super Saver Worsted Weight number 4, cream, kind of a dark dusty blue, and a dark kind of dusty rose. Now these are yarns that I had on hand. We're also going to be using our eye hook. You're also going to need a needle with a nice big eye and, of course, a pair of scissors. Now this is a free pattern on my blog, and I will put that blog link in the notes underneath the video for you. On that blog, there are a few pictures that might help you understand where to put your stitches if you're still having a little trouble not understanding after the video. It has the stitches placed exactly on the picture, just to give you a little extra help. So, grab your yarns, your eye hook, and we'll get started. We're going to begin by making the center section of the hearts first. We'll start on one side and do the humps, and then we'll come back around and do the points. But I wanted to show you what it looks like so you get an idea of how it will look. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is sizing. This headband has 3 sizes, and it depends on how many hearts that you make. If you make 6 hearts, it's going to measure about 20 inches. If you make 5 hearts, it's going to measure about 16 inches. And if you make an additional heart, it's going to measure about 24 inches. And I'm saying about because, of course, everyone stitches differently, and I always recommend that you measure as you go. Don't make your whole project and then go, oh no, it's too big. Measure as you go. Today we're going to be doing this one, which is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hearts, which is the 16-inch, which is the small. Now this pattern has 3 sizes, like I talked about with the hearts. If you're making the size small, you'll need to chain 63 chains. If you're making the medium size, you need to chain 75 chains. And if you're making the large, you'll need to chain 87 chains. For our demonstration, I'm making the small with 5 hearts, and so I'm going to chain 63 chains. Here's my chain of 63 chains. We're going to place 1 double crochet in the 6th chain from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to place 1 double crochet. And just in case you're not sure, you yarn over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go in the chain, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2. We're going to begin by making the tops of the hearts, the little humps or bumps. And so in this same stitch that we stitched this double crochet, we're going to stitch 4 more double crochets. So we're going to yarn over, go in that same chain, and do a double crochet. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that will give us a total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. Now we're going to skip the next 2 chains, 1, 2, and then in that next chain we're going to place a slip stitch. Then we're going to skip the next 2, 1, 2, and then in that third chain we're going to place 5 double crochets like we did for the first side, and then you'll see that these two little humps form the first two bumps or humps on our heart that go across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to skip the next two and slip stitch in the next. So there's the first two humps, or the top of our first heart. And we're going to repeat this all the way across. So we're going to skip the next two and stitch 5 double crochets in the next chain. One, two, three, four, one more. Then we'll skip 2 and slip stitch in that next chain. Then we'll skip 2 chains and 5 double crochets in the next chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. And then again, we'll skip the next 2 and slip stitch in the next one. And now we've got the tops of 2 hearts made, or 4 bumps. And we're going to continue this all the way across. And on this one, we're going to have 5 sets of 2 humps because I'm making 5 hearts. I have completed all of my humps for my 5 hearts. And now it's time to do the bottom. On the end, you should have had 3 chains left where you skipped the last 2 and then slip stitched in that last chain. Now we're going to create the bottom parts of our hearts. And the way we do that is with triple stitches. We're going to be stitching in the slip stitch between the first 2 humps. We're going to stitch a triple crochet. And the way we do that is we yarn over twice and we go in this slip stitch and pull up a loop. You have 4 loops on your hook. You'll yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, and go through those last 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to stitch 4 triples, then we'll chain 1, and then we'll stitch 4 more triples, and then we'll slip stitch in this next slip stitch. So we have 1 triple made. Let's make 3 more. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to place 4 more triples in that same slip stitch. 1, oops, there we go, 3, 4. So there's 4, chain 1, and 4 of our triple crochets. Now we're going to place a slip stitch in the slip stitch between the next 2 heart bumps. And then we'll repeat what we did for our first heart. So we completed our first heart. We slip stitched in the slip stitch between the next 2 humps. And now we're going to do exactly the same that we did here. We're going to place 4 triple crochets in the slip stitch between the next 2 humps. 1, 2, 3, need one more. Then we're just going to chain 1 and place 4 more triple crochets in that slip stitch. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, then we have 1, 2, 3, we need one more. 1, 2, 3. So there is the beginning of our second heart, and we're going to place a slip stitch in that slip stitch between the next two, and we'll do this for our next 3 hearts. So I completed all the bottoms of my hearts, and now I want to join to the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of that first double crochet. And don't tie off just yet. We're going to take our band and connect it so that it's a circle. So we're going to join, we're in the first double crochet here, and then you go to the first double crochet on this side. We're actually going to come in this way so it lays nice and flat, and we're just going to make a slip stitch to hold it. Just like that, and then we'll turn it back over because we're going to be working on the front. And that's how you make it into a circle. So I've got my hearts connected in a nice circle. And now I'm going to join in my second color, and I'm using cream as my second color. So I'm going to join, each hump has 5 double crochets, and I'm going to join in the first double crochet of that first heart. So I'm just going to bring my yarn in and make a quick little slip knot, and then I'm going to stitch 1/2 double crochet in that first double crochet, and then I'm going to stitch 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Then I'm going to stitch a 1/2 double crochet in that 5th double crochet. So we have a 1/2 double crochet, 3 single crochets, and a 1/2 double crochet. Now I'm going to stitch a double crochet right down in that center of that heart. And then I'm going to repeat what we did here. 1/2 double crochet in the first double crochet, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, then a 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch, and again we're going to stitch a double crochet, and we're going to stitch it in that slip stitch. And that's the way your heart is going to look, and each one will look the same. So let's do another one. Half double crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, a 1/2 double crochet in the 5th double crochet, then we're going to do a double crochet right down in the center of that heart, and then again 1/2 double crochet, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then we'll stitch a 1/2 double crochet in that last double crochet, and then we'll stitch a double crochet in the slip stitch in between. And we'll do this all the way around on each heart. I completed the top of my hearts, and see how that white, that cream is making that rose color pop out. All right, so we got around to back around here. We did a double crochet, in that stitch right there, and we're going to join to that first half double crochet that we created, and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this part's a little bit tricky. You can either tie off and weave in that end, or you can chain 4 and push that down the back of your work so that you can pick it up on the front of your work, like this. And then chain 4. And that counts as a triple. There we go. And now we're going to begin working down the bottom. Like I said, you can tie off and then reattach, or you can do like I did and make that chain 4 and then just move to the bottom. Now we're going to be working in these stitches. So we have 4 triple stitches and a chain 1, and 4 triple stitches and a chain 1. So what we're going to do, we made our triple crochet right here. So we're going to make a double crochet in the next stitch. Then we're going to make a half double crochet. Then we're going to place 2 single crochets Then we'll place 1 single crochet in that chain 1 space. I think I got me a little knot here. There we go. All right, now we're going to work up the other side. So we're going to place a single and a single. We're going to place a half double crochet and then a double crochet. And then we'll place a triple crochet in that same stitch as that slip stitch from the previous row. And this is how it's going to look. Double, half, single, single, and then a single in the chain 1 space. Then 1 single in the next 2, a half, a double, and then a triple in the same slip stitch from the previous row. And then we'll repeat that all the way around. All right, let me get this knot out of my yarn and then I'll show you again. All right, I got that silly knot removed. And I'm going to show you again how to go around the heart bottoms. We have our triple in the same stitch as our slip stitch. So we're going to make a double crochet in the next stitch. There we go. A half double in the next. Then we're going to place 2 single crochets, 1 in each of the next stitches. Then we're going to place a single in this chain 1 space, and then 1 single in each of the next 2 stitches. Then a half double crochet and a double crochet. And then that brings us back to our triple. It goes right in the center of that slip stitch from our previous row. So there's our second heart. Now don't worry if it's a little bumpy. It's gonna flatten out when we put the next row of trim on. So we're going to do it again on our next. We have 3 more hearts to do. So I'm just going to show you one more time. I just want to make sure you get it. Triple on the triple, triple on the slip stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochets, single crochet in the chain 1 space, 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, half double crochet in the next, double crochet in the next, and then a triple stitch right in that same slip stitch from the previous row. And that's how you put the bottom on. I finished up going around the bottom of all my hearts, and now it's time to join. So I made that last double crochet, and now I'm going to just join to the top of that first chain 3 with a slip stitch, and I'm going to cut my yarn. And the hardest part of the headband is done. And I know it seems a little bit complicated, but I just really love how it turns out. Take your time, count your stitches. You'll really like how it's going to turn out. The last part of this is that we need to put the trim on. And so I'm using this dusty blue for my trim. Join that in. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to chain 2. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to place a half double crochet in each stitch around. And it's going to give me a little bit of a wavy edge. But I like that. I like the way that it looks. And I also took my yarn and I held it up so that I could catch it in those first stitches. And then I'll come back with my needle and make sure that it's all secure. So I'm just stitching a half double crochet around the bottom of my headband. I finished my trim and I really like these colors together. But anyway, I'm going to join to the top of that chain 2 we started with. And there are 2 ways that you can do this. You can tie this off and weave in your end, or you can flip it upside down, wrong side out, and chain about 5 or 6, and then join to the bottom of your headband. And what this does is it keeps you from having to weave in your end. You can do it this way if you want to, or you can tie it off and weave in your end. Just a little trick I do occasionally when I'm doing a headband. So I join to the top, and now I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the bottom row. I'm going to place 1 half double crochet in each stitch around to give my headband a nice trim. I finished the trim on this headband, and then I tidied up the inside, got all my ends taken care of with my needle. And I wanted to show you the difference in the size. This is a small and this is a medium, just so you can kind of get an idea. 5 hearts, 6 hearts, and the next size up has 7 hearts. So you can make it in all 3 sizes. They are nice and stretchy, and I think it turned out really pretty in these colors. Now, the second video in our series will use this same technique for the brim of the hat, and then show you how to continue on and make it into a slouchy.